With the 65th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Darius Alexander, defensive tackle from Toledo.
Yeah, this is someone that I saw for the first time at the Senior Bowl, then went back and watched his tape, and you see some athleticism from big Darius Alexander, one of the older players in this draft.
With the 66th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Ashton Gelotti, defensive end, Louisville.
This is a guy a lot of teams were targeting that really liked. You see the production there in 2023. He's a D-line coach favorite. You just talk to a bunch of these teams, say, my D-line coach loves this kid from Louisville. He has just a knack. He knows how to rush. He's really instinctive. So he's going to get opportunities when you're playing with Patrick Mahomes. You're going to be playing with an awful lot of leads, and he's going to get a chance to do what he does best, which is rush the passer.
So Andy Reid has some gelati to go with his cheeseburgers. Know what I'm saying right there? Both Ashtons going to the AFC West, Genty and Gelati. What's up, Andy?
With the 67th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Harold Fannon Jr., tight end, Bowling Green.
So he's staying in state. Judkins isn't the only in-state draftee.
Yeah, they're saving on airfare with this draft class right now, all in the Midwest here. Huge production. He just looks like a little mini Antonio Gates, just in terms of the kind of the waddling running style that he has, where you go, I don't know how fast this guy is, but man, he sure does run away from everybody they play against, and he's excellent with the ball in his hands. They get it to him in all these different creative ways. Joel, when you're watching a player like this, it's a best friend of the quarterback because you can get some easy ones. You can get some easy completions, then watch him go to work, which he did against Penn State and Texas A&M.
Yeah, what I love about him is that he's comfortable in all of those areas, however you want to get him the ball. Very Tyler Warren-esque. It's what led to those 117 catches. I mean, he led the country in catches. He led the country with his 1,500 yards. Highly productive guy. He's got safety in his background, moved down to tight end and was the man.
The privilege to welcome another young man into the silver and black. I believe he has a commitment to excellence, and we are thrilled to get, with the 68th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Darien Porter, defensive back, Iowa State.
So
Let's go.
Pete Carroll definitely has an influence here, doesn't he, DJ?
Yeah, Rick Rowland 2.0 here.
Long, tall corner.
Yeah,
right?
That's something he's been able to collect over the years. Akello Witherspoon is who he reminded me of with just that size, length, speed. He's a little bit tight, so the fluidity is going to show up. Those issues are going to show up at times versus smaller receivers, but you want a big press corner who can get after people. He can do that, and then he's physical and tough as a tackler. You have to be able to tackle to play corner in this league right now. And CD, this is a former wide receiver who's also a fantastic special teams player. He's going to block some kicks.
Remember, he only played 7 games.
With the 69th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Khal Williams, wide receiver, Washington State.
Khal Williams, a UNLV transfer who goes to Washington State and lit it up this year. You see where his numbers ranked in the country, 4th in the FBS in receiving touchdowns. Then he went to the Senior Bowl, and I thought his releases off the line of scrimmage were the best of the wide receivers there. You can see it on the tape here. That's against Travis Hunter, who went right by him. He's someone who can win early, CD, and that speed plays. It shows up. It's legitimate. He plays faster than a 4.4 flat, Joel, when you watch him. He's an explosive player.
Yeah, I got to study him pretty extensively preparing for the Holiday Bowl, which I had them in when they played Syracuse. He's got quarterback in his background. I think that shows up in his instincts and his just overall feel of the field as he is down there. And by the way, highly productive down the field, 17 yards per catch. So CD, he can go get it.
Remember, he helped get UNLV to this place where they are now, and then finished up at Washington State. But you remember when UNLV, all you talked about was hoops. You weren't talking football at all. He helped bring that program to a stage now where Dan Mullen's taking over, thinks they're going to be pretty good.
Packer Nation, what's up? It's 2-0 in this place. It feels amazing. You know, 1 year ago on this weekend, I cried because I thought I was going to be a Packer. But the Kings of the NFC North came and saved me. Detroit, baby, one pride.
Wow.
Pipe down, pipe down, pipe down. The Jacksonville Jaguars have traded the 70th pick to the Detroit Lions. Let's see who my future teammate will be. With the 70th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Isaac TeSlaa, wide receiver, Arkansas. One pride.
And remember, he started his career in Michigan.
So, of course, the Motor City just added a TeSlaa. And this kid is really good from Arkansas.
He began his college career in the state of Michigan, DJ.
Yeah, absolutely. And someone who's a big slot who can elevate and high point the ball down the field. Catches a lot of bubbles as well. Then you'll see his toughness and physicality after the catch.
All right. With the 71st pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Vernon Brotten, defensive end, Texas.
We're seeing a lot of Texas defensive players in this draft. This defense was loaded, and look at the size on this. 6'5", 311-pound defensive tackle. They play him in that 3 technique on the shade of a guard. They also play on the inside. He's someone who's got really quick hands. He can change direction. I thought when you looked at moving him around in that front, I thought the closer to the center, the better he was, or he could make some quick wins. Just finding the football, some of the instinctive stuff, that was a little bit of the question mark.
Because of the movement, did you see a little bit of, remember when Pete Carroll used to use Red Bryant? Is that big,
heavy end, that base end?
Heavy, yeah. Do you see a little bit of that in him too?
With the pick.
Thank you, NFL, Buffalo Bills, for having me out to make this pick. Being a graduate of Wisconsin, I know how y'all party in Green Bay. Y'all doing it right. Y'all doing it right. With the 72nd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Landon Jackson, defensive end, Arkansas.
Yeah, this is someone who just elevated through the entire process. I thought he was a top 50 player in this class. The 6'6", 264-pound size. Ziggy Ansah, if you go back to Detroit, remember when he came into the league, that's who he reminded me of. Yes, very disruptive. He has a lot of wins against some of the better tackles in this draft class.
He gave Will Campbell he could handle.
I got a call from somebody after they watched him. They said, if Will Campbell's going to top 5, what's wrong with this Landon Jackson? Because he got the best of him. The Senior Bowl game, he was dominant, CD.
Everything.
And then he goes to the Combine and had an outstanding showing there. So the spring, once the season ended, this dude aced the process.
I feel like he surprised people with his athleticism, Joel. Because when we got to the Combine, he's running and jumping and doing, and he's like, oh my goodness. Southwest Conference Wars die
Shout out
hard,
to the Jets here. This is 25 years for me getting drafted. I want to give a shout out to Sean Ellis. I want to give a shout out to Chad Pennington and Anthony Beck, the 4 first-round picks we had in 2000. And also we got a free 99. We got a 3rd-round pick for Lavernius Cole from Florida State. With that being said, with the 73rd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Yaria Thomas, DB, Florida State. Represent, man, represent.
Yeah, this is a tall, long corner who, if he had run well, if he had posted a good time, likely goes at worst at the top of the 2nd round. But you see the 40 on the screen there, end up running a 4.58, which that was a little bit of the question mark. And so when he ran that time, I think that's what dropped him down to this point in the draft. But the tape is actually really good. More smooth than a sudden explosive player, but someone who can really, really match up with the bigger guys you're going to see around the league. From off, I thought you saw a little bit of that initial suddenness. It's just, can he maintain it with the long speed? That was a little bit of the question and the concern there, CD.
And DJ, what I thought when I watched him was his ability to transition. You're not going to see it here because he's playing the long ball, but watch his transition to the football. That's what I liked a lot about him, especially his break and drive as he's coming back, approaching the line of scrimmage. Joel, he would see things in front of him, and that plant and break and drive was really sudden despite his 4.58 40 time.
Woo! Broncos country, baby, back again. Hey, Broncos country, how about Super Bowl 32 against the Packers?
Oh, my.
I mean, as a Denver kid, I love it.
Wisconsinites, you know I love you. And with that said, with the 74th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Pat Bryant, wide receiver, Illinois.
Yeah, Pat Bryant, excellent size and production. The speed is something that's not his game. This is someone who relies on positioning, and he attacks the football, does not drop the football, extremely reliable hands. He's strong after the catch, and he'll work in traffic. He's physical, he's tough. And Joel, when I'm watching him and how he fits into a Sean Payton system, I hearken back to the Joel Klatt days of the New Orleans Saints when I think of someone I think you're thinking of.
Marcus Colson.
Let's go Bay Area. With the 75th pick in the 2025 draft, San Francisco 49ers select Nick Martin, Oklahoma State, linebacker.
Dre Greenlaw's gone, CD.
Yeah, but Nick Martin runs like Dre Greenlaw. I think that's a big part of what we have going on here. Missed 7 games in 2024 with a knee injury. 140 tackles, extremely productive in 2023. And every time you watch him, all you think, Joel, is speed. Every play that you see is a flash play. When I watch him do everything, whether he's rushing the pass or dropping in coverage, and DJ, when I see him often, spy versus the mobile quarterbacks. And anybody remember that game against Texas in the Big 12 championship game when he ran down Xavier Worthy from the middle of the field? I was actually surprised he ran slower at the combine than anticipated because of that speed I saw on film.
Yeah, which at 4.53 is nothing
which
to
is
sneeze
not
at.
small.
Exactly.
But I thought he was going to end up running the 4.4s. But he is exactly what Robert Saleh is looking like. Because you know what he looks like? Those safeties that Robert Saleh liked to draft and then turn them into linebackers.
With the 76th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Savon Rebel Jr., defensive back from East Carolina.
We talked about him before tonight's draft, and now he is bringing his trade craft to Dallas.
Guys, before injury last year, just had this in my ear from our great guys over there, Ben Fennell, Jack Andrade. He was tracking to be Quinyon Mitchell in a lot of ways. You talk about someone who plays fast, and we've talked about these great backstories. Remember, he came out of school and didn't have grades. Ends up at Lewisburg, a junior college, and then goes to a tryout camp at East Carolina, blows it away, gets his grades up, goes to East Carolina, and now he's a Dallas Cowboy.
Hey, Carolina, we stacking. Just know that. Just know that.
And here comes
the
Shuba
New England
Hubbard
Patriots
back.
have traded the 77th pick to the Carolina Panthers. With the 77th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Princely Umanmielan. Let's go!
Yeah, out of Ole Miss. Played for one of the best defensive lines in the country. We saw Walter Nolan come off the board in the first round. This is a very long, rangy, athletic rusher who we had a chance to see up close at the Senior Bowl and can win with speed and a little more finesse, CD, than just pure power. But this is how you would build a pass rusher in the lab in terms of his size, his length, and his burst. Remember at the Senior Bowl after practice, they had the one-on-ones. And you remember when Coach was asking, who wants this? And he goes, okay, this guy over here, tell me your last name. He tries to tell me, he goes,
Princely Umanmielan.
We'll go with Princely.
Coach.
We'll just go with Princely.
Prince is up. But you remember, he came from Florida, Joel, and then ended up going over. And DJ's talking about the same looking body type. Opposite him was Jaden Ivey, who's also in this draft. Same looking guys who can go get the quarterback.
That was 700 pounds he was doing right there.
Hurts my back just watching it, Rich.
Well, I'm sitting up straight. So
yeah, that's right. Your posture has been tremendous.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that.
Don't worry, Rich. The bar will bend with you.
Oh, okay. I had no idea. Good to know.
All right. With the 78th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Jordan Burch, linebacker, Oregon.
He's going to get a chance to play on the opposite side of Josh Sweat, who they brought over from Philly. You get Burch, who looks like he's a 3 technique, but is ultra explosive and athletic and is actually better rushing out there on the edge. So you get a nice combination of the size, speed. I saw a little bit more of a steady bull rush with him. He's not going to just jolt you or shock you with that, CD, but just kind of gets that steady, smooth move, and someone who will really chase and hustle on the backside of plays.
That's a big outside linebacker because that's how he was announced, Joel. So instead of thinking about him dropping down and playing much more of a 5 technique and a 3-4, they're talking about him being on his feet taking on the tight ends, beating up people off the line of scrimmage.
Played a ton of football, 58 games. You know, is a guy that I agree with you. I think he's better on the outside. By the way, good basketball background. He was 15 points per game. You know, athletic guy.
Bet he said a mean pick.
Oh, can you imagine? Hey, if I was a two guard in that offense, I would just be running my guy off of Jordan Burch.
With the 79th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Jaylen Null, wide receiver, Iowa State.
That's the third Iowa State receiver on their roster now, guys.
Where did his teammate go?
Xavier Hutchinson's already there. And Jaden Higgins, where did he go?
Yeah, Houston.
There you go.
They went shopping at Iowa State here. Big time pairing that they had there for that offense. Rocco Beck throwing the ball to these two receivers, and now
remember Tank Dell's beat up. Remember Tank Dell's hurt,
and Stephon Diggs is gone. So if you're C.J. Stroud, man, get out the Iowa State tape and watch these two guys go to work. I'm a big fan of both their games. I thought they were both top 50 picks. Noel's got speed. He's very tough. When you talk to the folks where he trained, they said he was at the facility a half an hour to an hour and a half early every single day. Elite off the charts wiring. And Brock Purdy, by the way, put his stamp on him as well. He played with him when he was a freshman.
With the 80th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select Justin Walley, defensive back, Minnesota, for the shoe.
Back to the Big Ten store.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, we're seeing SEC and Big Ten an awful lot in this draft class. And Walley has got average size, but he's very instinctive and patient. He's going to be a nickel to me. I thought his eyes were the best thing about him. You know, Charles, when you watch him and study him, he's someone that was an acquired taste. The more I watched him, I just kind of kept moving him up and moving him up and moving him up. And this guy's going to get on the field very early and be ready to play.
What is it, Joel? You cover these guys a bunch.
Yeah.
I want to know what they're doing up there because they're doing something right. Because every time we get a Minnesota defensive back, the first words that come out of our mouths is instinctive. You heard DJ talk about it here. Antoine Win.
Oh, Tim Krumrie's coming back.
On Wisconsin. With the 81st pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Darien Fairchild, guard, Georgia.
Dylan Fairchild out of Georgia, another Georgia Bulldog offensive lineman. I'm surprised his center didn't go ahead of him. That's a little bit of an upset there, but Fairchild has a lot of potential. To me, you're hoping the best is yet to come with him. He's got strong hands. He's a little bit tight. He was on the ground a little bit too much, but I love the effort and the tenacity. He was always looking for work, CD.
And he will battle right away to be a starter. Remember, they got Cordell Volson out of North Dakota State who started from his rookie year, but got benched partway through the season last year before getting his job back. Alex Kappa is no longer there. Cody Ford is the guy who's up there now. Oh, yeah. Well, guess what?
I'm into wrestlers. I like linemen that can wrestle.
Maulers.
Creed Humphrey,
By the way,
Tristan Wirfs.
He was 22-0, all pins.
Well,
every one.
That's how many walkovers did he get where the guy's just like, yeah, not tonight. You go ahead.
With the 82nd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Kevin Winston Jr., defensive back, Penn State.
I feel like this is a similar story with a lot of guys this year where you're like, man, if this guy was healthy through the whole year, he would have gone much earlier. This is an NFL-looking safety with his size, speed. Only 2 games this year before an unfortunate ACL injury, but he is aggressive and physical versus the run and someone who has man-cover skills. So I love the value find right here at this point in time.
Thank you very much. With the 83rd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers, looking to be dominant once again, select Caleb Johnson, running back, Iowa.
This fills a need for Pittsburgh. Jaylen Warren has been upgraded to currently the top spot in the running back room. So this fills a need for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, and we look at Caleb Johnson, big-time production in the Big Ten, downhill running style. You can see how the Steelers would appreciate that. A lot of his work is in between the tackles where he runs a little bit upright, but he's still able to break tackles. And I thought he ran and played faster than his 4.57 40. But again, everything's inside. It's north-south. It's downhill. And then when you get out in space, he's got some of that contact balance where you'll see guys bounce off of him.
It's Najee Johnson. That's going to be Najee Harris, who just went to Los Angeles Chargers. Harris wore 22. This kid wears 2. Black and gold, the whole thing. Running style, very similar. Production.
We got another hot one, Tampa Bay. We burning hot right now with the 84th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Jacob Parish, DB, Kansas State.
They go get another corner here for a defense that was 29th in the league against the pass last year. So this is clearly an area that Jason Light wanted to address. You got Morrison a little bit earlier. Here they come back and they get Parish. You see the speed on the screen there. That speed shows up when you watch him. He's compact, he's muscled up, and he is fast. You'll see him with some toughness as well on display. CD, he takes on guards. He's got a little dog in him, and I think that's something the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we've talked about the physicality on offense. We know they love that on defense as well.
Well, remember Todd Bowles, their head coach, runs their defense. And what does he do? What does he do up front all the time, DJ? Sends waves of people at the quarterback, so you better be able to stand up in the secondary for him.
He also can move inside on third down. Did that a little bit for Kansas State. Great production, by the way. When you're talking about pass breakups, 23. So this guy knows how to make plays when the ball's in the air.
With that selection, the Chiefs have moved up 10 spots.
The New England Patriots have traded the 85th pick to the Kansas City Chiefs. With the 85th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Nohl Williams, defensive back, California.
This was a player I tried to plant my flag on. He's my 54th overall player. The Kansas City Chiefs just scooped him up at number 85. The ball production, see on the bottom there, the pick 6 against Cam Ward. That was the first tape I popped on. I was like, well, that's a pretty good first impression. But to me, I thought this one is one that I was higher on than the rest of the league. And then the more you called around later, you started to find out he was getting a lot of juice and buzz later in the process. 7 picks, 3 of them against Auburn. He's feisty, he's quick, he has ball skills, 14 career picks. I love this pick for Kansas City.
They needed to get better on the corner because Trent McDuffie is one of their all-pro there, but they had some really inconsistent play on the opposite corner. And they really needed to get better at that spot because remember, they like to move McDuffie inside on third downs too.
It really is an honor to be able to do
wardrobe
this.
Change.
I want to thank my Chargers family for allowing me to do this. I'm really grateful. With the 86th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Jamari Caldwell, D-tackle, Oregon.
There you go. There's your D-tackle.
And there is a big man. Again, someone, we saw a little more athleticism when we got to the Senior Bowl, too. He's playing next to Derek Harmon. And a lot of folks, when they were watching Derek Harmon, said, now, hold up. Who's that kid playing next to him? Jamari Caldwell pops off the tape. At 332 pounds, the big man can move. And Joel, one of my favorite things about him is they said, look, he works hard. He does like to eat, though. So they said they would check his DoorDash app on his phone just to make sure at night we weren't getting a little carried away here. But they love him as a kid and they love him as a player.
Oh, look who it is. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got some old school Packers. That's Jerry Kramer and David Robinson.
All right. Oh, how about Dave?
Thank you very much. And welcome to Green Bay, everybody.
This is awesome.
With the 87th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select
Savon Williams, wide receiver, Texas Christian.
Wow, their wide receiver cup is running over.
I don't know if I would like to welcome him to Green Bay. Let's hear it for the Pack.
I didn't know if that overhead shot was a crowd shot of their receiver room. Nice. I mean, Savon Williams is one of the more unique players, I guess I should just say unique players in this draft, who they'll use as a wildcat. He's outside at receiver. They just get the ball to him in the backfield. One of the best overall athletes in this entire draft. He is huge. He's almost 6'4", 222 pounds.
He runs with some pump.
And when he's running, he is looking to run through you and by you. He's incredible that way. The challenge in the rub, 8 drop passes last year. Little inconsistency catching the football, but to me, think about Debo early on in his career.
Yep.
Just get it to him. Just pitch it to him, put him in the backfield, get the ball in his hands, and make defenders tackle him.
Debo in an elongated package, which means Cordero Patterson looking in terms of body type. What Green Bay's doing, Joel, is creating a lot of competition in the wide receiver room. They're telling their guys from last year, it wasn't good enough. We're bringing in guys who's going to prove to be the best one.
Here come that tail in black, baby. Duval. With the 88th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Khal Ransol, DB, Tulane.
You'll get Ransol from Tulane, another nickel. We're seeing this round, third round's kind of a sweet spot if you're looking for somebody to play in that nickel. He's someone that'll knife backside against the run and make tackles. Didn't have a ton of ball production, but an elite tester and someone who has toughness.
He can flat out fly, he can run now. That's a good thing when you're out there trying to chase these guys around.
Duval in the house. With the 89th pick in the 2005 draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Wyatt Milm, guard, West Virginia. Got to rep my college, Southern Miss to the top, and my high school, John Carroll Catholic, baby.
There you go. Wyatt Milm was a tackle. They just announced him as a guard, one of the nastier players in this draft. You'll see a lot of power where he'll torque and dump guys. A feisty player. So Jacksonville gets tougher up front.
Hey, I'm back. Let's get to it. With the 90th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Josiah Stewart, linebacker,
All right,
Michigan.
this guy can ball. So once again, Les Snead and the Rams dip into the University of Michigan's front seven. Well, obviously they dove into their backfield last year. What do you think of Josiah Stewart?
He's a ball of energy. I mean, you've seen him, Rich. Like everything he does, he plays fast, he plays furious. He did not test well. I was shocked. He ran in the 4.8s when he tested at his personal pro day. So I think that dropped him down a little bit. He had an opportunity, be a top 50, top 60-ish pick. The Rams got a discount price because he didn't work out very well. But man, his tape is fun to watch.
Who's ready to fly? Let's go, Ravens. So guys, with the 91st pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select
Emry Jones Jr., tackle, Louisiana State.
Let's go, Ravens. Yeah.
They listed him as a tackle, one of those players I thought would be listed as a guard, but he held up at right tackle playing for LSU. Think about Will Campbell on that opposite side. He's got very good foot quickness. He's athletic out of his stance. He can absorb rushers. One of the issues with him is just opens up his gait, CD. You'll see at times he'll kind of swing that leg open, and that ended up to some short edges and got some pressures. I thought he'd be better served to kick inside and play guard, and I really like him as a player, but they announced him as a tackle.
But in Baltimore, as you've seen, you may be announced one way. Remember Daniel Faalele? They announced him, and he was supposed to be a tackle. They've kicked him inside, right? He graduated inside the guard. So they just want big guys up front, and they want versatile pieces.
That last play you just saw being made, that was punt coverage.
Yeah.
How about that? So he's the personal protector, and then he's down making plays. Fired up after that.
This is so good. This is a family call right here. With the 92nd pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks have selected my nephew, quarterback, Alabama, Jalen Milro.
Okay.
Wow. Let's go to work, Sam.
So the Seahawks go quarterback, and they go Jalen Milro. He is the fourth quarterback selected. It is the kid from Alabama, I give you the floor, Daniel.
Mike McDonald came from Baltimore. There was a quarterback once upon a time coming out of college who we said was an electric runner, but someone who still had to develop yet as a passer. Now, this isn't Lamar Jackson. I'm not saying that, but you can see the blueprint for how to operate and to bring in a quarterback with this style of play. He's someone, the running we'll get to in a second, but attacking the seams, similar to Lamar, that he was way better working in the middle of the field than outside. The run stuff, though, guys, he is electric. He is so fast. When he gets to the corner, he's running away from everybody in the SEC. So you could see this all coming together and the fit making sense here behind Sam Darnold.
And don't forget last year, just to add to what Daniel's talking about how these running quarterbacks really catch the eye of defensive coordinator head coaches. Last year, when it was an opportunity to take Jaden Daniels at number 2, or do you take Drake May? Dan Quinn was the head coach and is the head coach of Washington. What keeps them up at night, Joel? Those defense coordinators. That quarterback who can take off and go.
Yes.
And I just said that's the ticket right there. Dan Quinn.
With the 93rd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Yonas Sanker, defensive back, Virginia.
Yeah, this is a physical player, especially against the run. You see him just buckle crack blocks. They try and crack him, he'll go right through you. Just a very, very tough physical player. Ran well, tested well, all those things. When he was in the back half, I thought he was a little bit late off the hash. Some of the instinct things you like to see improve, but a very tough, fast physical player in Sanker.
With the 94th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Dylan Gabriel, quarterback, Oregon.
So Dylan Gabriel is going to Cleveland. We just saw 2 more quarterbacks taken here in the 3rd round, not named Shedeur Sanders. We now have seen every finalist for the Heisman Trophy that showed up in Manhattan has now been drafted into the league. Dylan Gabriel is going to Cleveland.
He is a 24-year-old who has played a ton of football, 3 different schools.
63 starts?
Yes, to me, he was like on the sliding scale of left-handed quarterbacks who are a little undersized. I'd go Tua, I'd go Gabriel, I'd go Kellen Moore underneath it. So that was kind of when I was looking at him. But he's got a live arm. He's just not a big guy. I saw him play live at this Michigan game. I thought he played with conviction. He trusts what he sees, and he lets it rip. He's just not a big guy. I mean, he's older, and he's not a big guy. Those are the 2 knocks.
I had an ex-general manager tell me that he would draft him to be a backup. And I'm old enough to remember his dad playing at Hawaii under the Bob Wagner, Dick Tomey teams. And you notice that throw right there? Does that look familiar, DJ? Does that look familiar, Joel?
Let it rip.
Let it rip. Flat throws, hitting in the seams, and bam. Guess what? His son's doing it just from the port side. You guys might even remember this running back here. Remember Jamal Farmer?
I don't know. I played on that turf, and my head still hurts.
And everything hurts right now. Yeah. But Dylan Gabriel following in the footsteps of his dad now getting an opportunity. But I'm still remembering, Joel, that GM tell the ex-GM saying, I drafted him as a backup because of the experience, because of the moxie, the live arm, all of those things. This is maybe what we're saying in Cleveland.
And with 3 schools, he's learned all of those offenses, and he's run them incredibly well. Will Stein's offense, the offensive coordinator for Oregon last year, I think he's best when he's in the Tua mode. Fast hands, fast eyes, point guard mode, attack those intermediate throws. He's accurate right there, and he's a really solid leader. Dylan's a good player.
So when I talked to coaches that met with him at the Senior Bowl, and they met with all those quarterbacks that were there, a bunch of them, they said he was by far the most impressive kid that we sat down with. They love the kid as well as the player.
Remember the path, UCF, Oklahoma, Oregon, and it was almost UCLA. Remember, he was going to UCLA.
Right. Here's the Pats' 95th overall selection.
What's going on, Wisco? Oh, yeah. With the 95th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the 6-time Super Bowl champion New England Patriots select Jarrett Wilson, center, Georgia.
Oh, this is so perfect, isn't it? David
go ahead,
retired.
CD.
No,
go ahead.
I'm going to let you go. But David Andrews just retired, and they need a full makeover of that offensive line.
I was talking to his offensive line coach, Stacy Searles, this morning, and said, and Stacy's been around forever, said this is the most athletic center that I've ever coached.
Wow.
And he's been at some LSU, Texas, Miami. He's been everywhere and coached a lot of great players, including a long run there at Georgia. He can really get up to that second level. Rich, we sat next to each other at the Combine when he ran the 4.8s. So that shows you the kind of athleticism that he has. Man, they have put some pieces around Drake May, CD, in this draft class.
Priority, 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 and it's the right thing. And remember, if I'm not incorrect, not a long-term starter at Georgia. And,
yeah, they had Van Pran.
Remember, they had Cedric Van Pran, now Granger, who's up in Buffalo, who's, what, a 5th-round pick last year? So he had to kind of wait his turn. But when he took the ball, Joel.
Didn't start until last year.
Right, he took it and really took off with it. And you just look at that New England offense, and they need that remake. Yeah, you got to take care of your quarterback, but they need a remake in almost every spot. And these guys are going to start early.
You got a center, you got a left tackle, and Will Campbell. You got Travion Henderson at running back. You got Kyle Williams at receiver. They got a whole new offense.
Elliott Wolf, Mike Vrabel, getting work done.
You like what they've done?
I love what the Patriots have done.
I see you. Real quick, I want to introduce my son, Jonah. I appreciate you being here with me tonight, buddy. We got a trade.
Oh.
The Philadelphia Eagles have traded the 96th pick to the Atlanta Falcons. And with the 96th pick in the 2025 draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Xavier Watts, DB, Notre Dame.
Love this guy.
Yeah, they were not good on defense last year in Atlanta on 3rd down. They couldn't get to the quarterback, and they couldn't get off the field. This guy not only can help you get off the field, CD, he will take the football away.
He'll take football with him off the field.
13 career picks. And to me, this is more football player than athlete when you watch him. He wins with his eyes more so than his physical talent. But he's someone that, to me, that's a skill. You've been around guys that necessarily aren't the most explosive, dynamic athletes, but they just know how to play angles, they know to trust their eyes, and they play faster than their ability says they should.
I can't, listen, I can't talk about Xavier Watts without thinking about the downfall of Nebraska football. I know that sounds crazy, but he grows up in Omaha and he winds up at Notre Dame and not at Nebraska. That didn't used to happen. If you're wondering why Nebraska hasn't been Nebraska for 2 decades, Nagurski Award winner Watts was, the 7 interceptions as a junior, back that up with 6 as a senior. Like you guys said, always around the football.
And Nebraska catching a straight.
I know, I'm sorry. I don't know. I mean, but that's what I think about, right?
But you remember they weren't exactly loaded all the time, but they always kept their guys home.
Texans back at
it. It's been such an honor to be here representing the Houston Texans. Got so much gratitude and love for all the NFL fans and all the Texans fans that come out and traveled up here. And the 2 biggest Texans and football fans I know back at home, my sons, Henry and Benjamin. I love you boys, and I'm proud of you guys. With that being said, we have a trade. The Minnesota Vikings have traded the 97th pick to the Houston Texans. And with the 97th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Jaylen Smith, defensive back, Southern California.
And Jaylen Smith, one of the more versatile defensive backs, can literally play any of the positions in the secondary. Outside corner, inside at nickel, back at safety. He's got experience across the board. He's someone who's going to be very involved in the sub-packages early in his career.
So there's 5 picks to go. 2 of them back-to-back, the Las Vegas Raiders. Then their former Bay Area mates, 49ers. Then the Eagles.
And I'm thrilled for the opportunity this young man's going to have. At the Raiders, we say, once a Raider, always a Raider. And this man's going to have a great career. With the 98th pick in the NFL 2025 draft, the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, select Caleb Rogers, guard from Texas Tech. Let's go.
Caleb Rogers lined up at right tackle, but he's played all over the place. You see on the screen there, left guard, right tackle, announced as a guard. I think he's much more comfortable in there, and that's where he'll be a great fit. Out in space is probably where he struggles a little bit, but when you keep him with neighbors, he's got a lot of power, he's got a sharp punch, and also, CD, someone's played a lot of football. He's got 55 games under his belt.
I think some people actually think that he can move inside totally and be a center as well. There's been some of that discussion, but with Jackson Powers Johnson there, now going from guard to center, I think he'll have to settle in and battle for a spot at the guard position.
I am so thrilled for these young men. What an opportunity they have.
Extra Wisniewski.
With the 99th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Charles Grant, tackle, William and Mary. Let's go.
Yeah, Charles Grant, this is a really, really athletic edge protector. Someone who everybody expected to test off the charts, and he tested solid, not as well as you would expect. Added some weight. Yeah, coming off injury late, added some weight, wanted to bulk up a little bit. But for somebody at a smaller school, plays with excellent instincts and awareness, some big-time wow cutoff blocks on the backside, as you see here, his ability to reach and seal on the backside. So I just preached about all that physicality. Then they went and got a big-time athlete who also has a wrestling background.
And I had a like state of Virginia kind of flashback thing watching him wear a number. Look at him. That's 2 points, guys. Takedown. I was thinking DeBrickshaw Ferguson with body type, movement skills, things of that nature. Not at that level yet. But guess what? You know what else the Raiders got on this one? Colton Miller. What's going to happen with him at left tackle? Here comes Charles Grant, a guy they can develop.
With the 100th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Upton Scout, defensive back, Western Kentucky.
Upton Stout's a good player. Started out in North Texas and then ended up at Western Kentucky as a hilltopper. Reminded me of Ladarius Webb. You remember that old school Baltimore Raven?
Feisty.
Super feisty, super sudden and tough. Ran in the 4.4s, mid 4.4s, jumped well. Fourth down, I'm watching the MTSU game, and he knifes through for a tackle for loss for a huge play in that ball game. There's just a competitiveness. I know he's not a big guy, CD, but I love the way he plays.
You know also had a comparison with Amir Robertson.
Yep.
Coming out of Louisiana Tech. Ball skills, production.
Amik Robertson.
Amik Robertson, thank you. Ball skills, production, right? Big time play. Take on anyone. He's the kind of guy that you come down the hall, Joel. What you looking at?
It seems with each passing pick, and we find out who's 101, who they trade back into tonight for.
The Philadelphia Eagles have traded the 101st pick to the Denver Broncos. With the 101st pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Denver Broncos select Savon Jones, defensive end, LSU.
Yeah, good player. Just to finish up your point, though, Rich, what they did to overcome that Russell Wilson contract, all I could think of is Kevin Garnett just screaming, anything is possible. So you can get out from under a terrible contract, apparently.
Well, it's not just that, too. It's also the amount of picks they gave up for him, and they keep on adding young players who hit in the draft, certainly last year, and we'll see about this year. What about this kid they just picked up?
Yeah, someone who can play inside, can play outside. I like him best on the edge. I like giving him a little bit of a runway. We saw it at the Senior Bowl where he had a dominant game. Just
good hand usage.
Just clear the dance floor. If you're going to rush him inside, clear the dance floor, let him have two-way goes, and he can win with his quickness. You see those quick arm overs. He was all over the field in that game. He plays fast. I think there's more upside with him, too. They'll coach him up in Denver, and I think you'll see him in some sub-rush inside over guards, and then give him a runway on the outside as well.
On Wisconsin, hello everybody, and big special hello to my Viking fans. Can I get a Skol Vikings? Yeah. Get used to it.
Oh boy, Stu needs to read the room, huh?
That warms our hearts. With the 102nd pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Tayshaun Felton, wide receiver, Maryland. Skol Vikings.
Got some speed here to go along with a very talented receiver room in Minnesota, and Ty Felton ran in the high 4.3s. He's ultra productive, can play inside and outside. And guys, I like the way he's able to wall guys off for the ball down the field. He's 6'1" and an 8th, but I thought he almost played like a 6'3" wide receiver down the field.
And this is what I like most about him. Yards after catch. Joel, I think you saw him a couple of times along the way.
I did, yeah.
When he makes a catch, he doesn't just make people miss. He runs through them. He has good focus on the football downfield. A big portion of his yards were yards after catch and yards after contact.
Here we are as people are filing out behind us, getting ready for day 3, rounds 4 through 7. Daniel, I throw to you your thoughts on night number 2 now that is in the books.
A lot of movement. I mean, you saw teams kind of know what they wanted to shop for, and they moved around the board to make sure they could go get it. I love what the New England Patriots have done. I thought it was going to be a fascinating storyline to see the quarterbacks picked last year, what their teams would do this year to help these young guys. And, man, I'll tell you what, Elliott Wolf, hats off to you with the New England Patriots, Mike Vrabel and company. They've done a lot to help Drake May. It's been a good weekend, and specifically a great night tonight for Drake May and the New England Patriots.
2 things come to mind for me. Number one, whatever you think your evaluation is of a player, don't take that as the gospel, because the league's going to tell you differently. Each one of these 32 teams has a different way of looking at a player, whether it's scheme fit, whether they want traits, whether they want production, size, you name it. So every time you think you know something, they may tell you differently if it doesn't fit their team. That's the first thing. The second thing is the aggressiveness of these teams right now. Joel, the trades and the people that we're working with, these are things we never thought we would see within division. You're never supposed to. No one cares anymore. How do I get the best value for my team? How do I get someone that fits? And people are willing to do it all across the board. And obviously, we didn't have a quarterback go, but we had a number of quarterbacks go ahead of him. Talk about Shedeur Sanders. I'm not trying to get you there, but that has been a big part of the story tonight.
For Charles Davis and also for Daniel Jeremiah, Ian Rappaport, and the rest of our NFL Network crew, Jamie Erdahl, and so many men and women that brought you tonight's second and third rounds. We will see you tomorrow. Here's Rhett Lewis.